Links to previous episodes are given in the video description, so don't forget to like, subscribe and share the video. Forsaken Luna, the Alpha's Regret. Episode 10. Chapter 102. Michelle's POV. Enzo had an impromptu surgery at the hospital this morning, so I opted to go to the office. We had a lengthy conversation about my pregnancy last night, and all I can say is that I am super proud of the man I call my husband. He didn't make me feel I was giving him another man's children. He makes me feel like the children in my womb are his, and that is one thing I will always respect him for, taking me and my babies into his home and treating us like we are his world. Letting out a sigh, I pick up my bag from the table and make my way out of the room. I am surprised to see Maria standing outside my door, and as usual she has a huge smile on her face. "How come you are here?" I ask her. "The boss asked me to accompany you to the office, so I came right from the house," she answers. Her voice is full of energy and vigor. "You could have come into the room," I tell her. "Not at all, ma'am. I didn't want to bother you." I look down at her neck and I discover she is wearing a head tie around her neck. Nicholas must have hurt her a lot. "How is your neck now?" I ask her again. "Enzo told me what happened. It wasn't serious, ma'am," she answers. "It was just my skin reacting to his fist. You should stay away from that animal. He is a beast." I will Michele. I hear my name from a distance and my forehead creases into a frown. Who dare to call out my name in such a way? Is the person tired of living? Michelle. I hear the voice again and the frown on my face intensifies. Who is that? I mutter under my breath. I think it's coming from downstairs, Maria answers. You wait here, I tell her. I don't want you to get hurt again if it's something serious. You were lucky to have escaped during the wedding. I am a tough one. Try me. My lips curl into a small smile, but it doesn't last long as I hear my name from a distance again. The elevator door opens and I see Mustafa walking towards me, and he bows lightly. Luna, Nicholas is here and he is causing a ruckus. He has beaten up a few of the security guards and he won't leave without seeing you. I clench my fist together as the thought of looking at his face creeps up in my mind. I hate him so much. I hate him and I hate everything about him. I don't think you should bother yourself with him, ma'am, Maria tells me, but I nod in the negative. That bastard won't leave if I do not see him, I tell her before turning to Mustafa. Take me to him. As soon as I come out of the elevator and towards the entrance, I see Nicholas walking towards me, and I have never seen a more deranged man like the one coming towards me. He knows how things affect him, but yet he is the most wicked man I have ever come across, and just the mere thought of it makes my skin crawl. I am still in my train of thought when he comes to his knees in front of me, and before I can react to how close he is, Nicholas snakes his hands around my waist and buries his head on my stomach. Mustafa and Stefan move to yank him up, but I stop them as my eyes travel down to him. I was a fool, Michelle. His voice reaches my ear as he tightens his hold on me like he is afraid to let me go. If only he held me this close instead of forcing me to sign the papers, maybe we would have still been married. I was a fool for letting you go, Mish. I was excited about the fact that I would be a father, and Natalia came at the right time. Please don't let Enzo come between us. I was a fool, but I have come to my senses now. He lifts his head away from my tummy and raises his head to meet my gaze. Remember how you used to love me like I was the only man in the world? You were so proud of me. You loved being my Luna and you promised you would be with me forever. Mish, tears well up in his eyes. You forgave me every time I did something wrong, so why can't you forgive me now? Why can't you look at me like you used to before, Mish? We were so happy together in our baby. He looks down on my protruding tummy again. We can raise our baby however you want. I like the fact that you used the word, used. Nicholas, I start to speak as my gaze continues to linger on him, and I am happy you know you have accepted the fact that you are no longer the man for me. Yes, I loved you, but you robbed it on my face, and now someone who deserves it now has it. Your love and your babies belong to someone else, and I hope you will accept the fact that we can never get back together again, even if the moon goddess comes to stand in front of me. Since I left your house and your pack, you have constantly found a way to hurt and ridicule me. This is your turn now, and I hope will accept it in good faith. You cannot do this, Michelle. He clings onto me like a baby koala afraid to let go of its mother. If you feel nothing for me, why didn't you get rid of the pregnancy when you found out? You kept it. This baby links us, and Enzo has no say in this. Let's go back home, and I promise I will treat you right, Mish. You are my only redemption now, and I am going to lose my sanity if you refuse me. You lost your sanity the day you allowed another woman into our lives, Nicholas, and I hope karma continues to dish out more than you can handle. Looking back at the man holding onto me now, I don't even feel anger anymore. All I feel is pity towards him. The Nicholas I knew used to be scary and ruthless, but this one looks like a shadow of his former self, and all I can do is shake my head in pity for him. One last chance, Michelle, he tells me again. You had more than enough chances and you chose Natalia every single time. I don't think we owe each other anything anymore. After I am done, I wriggle out of his grasp. And please do not hold on to me like that again. I am a married woman, I say to him again before turning to Maria. Please arrange for a new change of clothes for me. This one is ruined. Not looking back at him again, I turn on my heel and walk back into the house, finally breathing out a sigh of relief. Now I know for a fact that Nicholas will never be able to affect me again. As soon as I enter the house, my phone beeps with a message from Enzo, and a frown appears on my face when I read the content of the message. Get ready for a blast, princess. Enzo's POV. As soon as I end the call, the smirk on my lips widens as I turn my attention back to the man who is standing before me. I had finished my surgery a while ago and I was scheduled for another one in an hour, but that didn't mean I didn't know what was going on in my house and how Nicholas snaked his hand around my wife's waist, and that was a mistake he never should have made. The more I looked at the video in front of me, the more I get annoyed at it. What do you want to do with it now, master? Xavier asks me. Here I hand him back the phone, give it to my secretary and tell her to hand it over to the media team. They know what to do with it. Yes, boss. Xavier bows and walks out of the room while I lean back on the chair as the smirk returns to my face. This time around, I am going to snatch everything about air from Nicholas, and he will wish he didn't touch my wife in such a way. That is something I will never be able to forgive no matter what. Picking up my phone again, I dial a number and press the phone against my ear. Hello sir, I have something for you, I tell the man from the other end. My media team will release a video soon. I want your company to report on it and make sure it stays at the top of the search rankings. Okay sir, I will get started on it. Good. I end the call before pushing my body out of the chair again. Now we wait. Ugh, I groan a little as I walk out of the operation theater. It has been 4 hours since I went in for the operation and I can't lie, I am tired. We appreciate your loyalty. I just want to go home to my wife and cuddle her to sleep. My happy thoughts are cut short when I hear someone scream my name from behind me and I turn to see Lucy walking towards me with an angry look hovering over her face. What makes me more confused is the fact that she thinks she is up to my standards to call my name with that mouth of hers. I have never met a man more wicked than you, Enzo, Lucy growls in anger. How dare you do this? Are you talking to me? I have to ask her to be sure. How dare she speak to me in such a manner? How could you do such a thing, Enzo? She yells in my face and I have the inkling to grab her by the neck and sever her head from her body. The audacity of her to stand in front of me and speak in such a condescending manner. The only luck this lady has now is because we are in an open space and people are looking at us. You! How dare you? A voice asks behind me and I turn to see Michelle walking towards us and she looks very upset. The moment she comes in front of me, her hand collides with Lucy's face in a tight slap and a smirk appears on my face. Who dares to mess with me when I have a doting wife? The nerve of you to stand in front of my husband and speak to him with your ugly face, how dare you? Her voice is laced with enough sarcasm and high enough for everyone to hear. Michelle, you! Lucy tries to speak but my wife immediately interrupts her. What right do you have to come at my husband like that? She blurts. Everyone clearly saw the video and Nicholas was the one on his knees begging to be taken back. Have you forgotten that? What we did was make sure he became famous for his little skit, so what gives you the right to think you are worthy enough to stand before my husband, the CEO of Avanti? Do you think you are on the same level with him? I could have actually stopped her from talking further but I decide against it. I want the world to see how ruthless she has become. How much more will you and your brother be humiliated before you let me and my husband be at peace? Lucy rakes her fingers through her hair and bites down on her lips. Embarrassment and shame are all written on her face seeing the amount of people listening to Michelle speak, almost all the nurses and the doctors available. I just stand there looking as my wife defends me. I should think of a reward to give my darling wife for her good works. Aren't you being too ruthless and shameless? Lucy asks again, this time her voice a little shaky. How can you treat a man you claimed you love in this way? The only crime my brother committed was begging you. Trust me, sweetheart. Michelle continues to speak. The video circulating on the internet is little compared to what is to come, and believe me, Lucy, Nicholas will not be able to recover from it. You think you can speak to my husband and I will let you go? Michelle scoffs. You are lucky you have no business, so I will take my pound of flesh from your brother. I hope you die, Michelle. Lucy blurts and my eyes immediately darken. Not bothering about all the people gathered, I grab onto her neck and shove her against the wall. How about you die first then? I growl in anger as I tighten my grip on her neck and I see how her eyes turn red with pain and anger. How dare you stand in front of me and wish my wife death? Thinking about it, I get more upset. Just let her go, hubby, Michelle calls out to me as she walks up to me. She is already a walking dead. I let go of her and Lucy falls to the ground in front of everyone, grabbing onto my wife's hand. I lead her into my office and slam the door shut, and the muffled tones of the people outside the door reach my ear, but that is the least of my worries right now. You didn't tell me you were coming, I say to Michelle while leading her to the couch. I would have come out to receive you. You were clearly busy, Michelle answers while letting out a sigh. Can you help me unbuckle my shoe? I have it on for a while now. I bent down in front of her and help to remove her shoes while my gaze continues to linger on her. You didn't tell me you would have that video uploaded, Enzo. He should know better than to mess with me. I retort, and he had the guts to hug you? I will make air crumble before the end of the week. Michelle laughs gently. You get really scary when are upset. I am not upset. I am just trying to show Nicholas what he has lost. A gentle knock resonates on the door. Come on in. The door pushes open and Xavier enters again. I am here, boss. I turn away from Michelle for a while and settle my gaze on him. I have a job for you, Xavier, and make sure it sends a message. I want you to teach Lucy a lesson that she will regret when she said about my wife. This time around I want her to be unable to wolf out ever again. You don't have to go that far, Enzo. Michelle tries to stop me but I glare at her. Are you feeling pity towards your ex-husband, wife? I place my finger under her jaw. Because I think I have to kill him so all your attention can return to me. Michelle burst out laughing. You don't scare me, Enzo. She tells me. We are literally on the same boat and I am just waiting to see him crumble to the ground. At least, I won't have to go to court with him for joint custody of our kids. I hate the thought of that. So should I kill him, then? My eyes immediately light up as she caresses my face softly. Of course not, Michelle answers. I want to see what happens to him after the whole world has seen him begging before me. You seem to be enjoying this, wife. My face breaks into a smile. I am glad I came up with this, and that's why I will always love you. You just know how to make me smile. A coy smirk makes its way to my lips as I swallow hard. I also know how to make you scream loudly too, babe. Should I try that? Get lost. She turns away from me shyly and Xavier clears his throat to remind me that he is still in the room, something which I didn't forget. Why clear your throat? I turn to Xavier with a frown on my face. Haven't you had sex with my sister yet? Babe. Michelle smacks me and shifts her gaze to him again. Just do as he says. Zoff, he bows, and in no time he is out of the office, leaving the two of us again. Do you have to be so vague every single time? Why? I raise an eyebrow at her. He knows what I am talking about, and believe me, he is more naughty than you can imagine. A cringe look appears on my face. You are only trying to save face. No one is as naughty as you. I pull my body up and perch on the space beside her, her gaze not leaving me at all. What? I always admire you when you wear your shrubs, babe. I mean, it's a big turn on for me. The smirk on my face widens, and under her gaze, I remove my shirt, leaving me bare, and I see her gulp. Now you can stare as much as you want. Don't make me do this, babe. She pouts. Are you trying to make my pregnancy hormones kick in? Can I do that? You. She pulls me in by the neck and claimed my lips hungrily. And mind you, this is what I came for. She whispers over my hair again before deepening the kiss and pulling me close. Nicholas's POV. My laugh continues to resonate in the room as all of them continues to stare back at me. I cannot believe the fact that a mere alpha like Enzo has me in a tight corner like this. All be Michelle. I should have known that Michelle was not the same person I married 3 years ago. She is more ruthless and more aggressive now, more like the bane of my existence. Not in my life did I ever think I would be in this position, because the shares of air has plummeted so much that I find it hard to believe. And what more, Lucy is at the pack healers. The more I think about it, the more I can't help but laugh. Enzo really laid all his cards on the table this time around, and now I am not going to lie low. If he wants to go low, I am going to go much lower than he ever expected, and I am going to make him pay for touching my sister the second time. I swear on the moon goddess. Pushing my body on the revolving chair. What should we do, sir? My assistant asks me. the board of directors are all asking for a meeting and our stocks keep plummeting. Arrange for a press conference. I tell her, Enzo has bitten off more than he can chew and I am going to make sure he regrets it this time around. Yes boss, she answers and makes her way out of the office while I turn to Pete and Damon, two of my most trusted men. Prepare for war, I tell the two of them as my eyes darken, and we fight to the death this time. I must avenge Lucy and my company. Yes boss. As the two of them also make their way out of the office, the thought of Michelle fills my mind again and my gaze softens. I have to get rid of all the obstacles if I want her and our baby back. Just the mere thought of it is already making me excited. I cannot wait. She didn't hurt me, Enzo did, and he will bear the brunt alone. Dressed in a pair of black tailored suit and my hair pulled back in a neat bun, I make my way towards the podium as the sea of eyes before me greets me. The room is full to the brim and my lips curl into a smirk. Enzo is going to be begging at the end of my conference. After a second of trying to wrap my head around everything, I finally pick up the microphone and clear my throat. Good evening everyone, I start to speak. Thank you all for making it to this impromptu meeting. I will try to make everything as fast as possible because I am also a busy man, and since Avanti has put me in the spotlight now, it is only right that I give Avanti a befitting response since my company is at stake. Since yesterday, the stocks of air has plummeted so bad that it is going to take a while for it to get back on track, so now you all understand how upset I am. I pause for a moment as my eyes dart across the room before I continue again. Since yesterday, a video has been posted online with me on my knees begging my wife to take me back. Actually, I am not ashamed of that because I lost a good woman to another man and I am not afraid to admit that to the whole world. She belonged to me in the first place, but that man stole her from me and even my baby. But guess what? I am going to take her back and I am going to make Avanti crumble to its knees in the stock market. Evaon in the room looks a bit surprised at my outburst, but I mean every single word that has come out of my mouth. Now it is time to know who was more ruthless and dangerous. Sir, one of the reporters raised his hand and he stands up. Are you openly declaring a war on the CEO of Avanti and your ex-wife's new husband? He inquires. What do you think? My eyes dart across the room again. I should rightfully take what belongs to me, shouldn't I? Another stands up again. What do you mean by your baby? Is your ex-wife and the new wife of Enzo Phillips pregnant for you? Why? The words hang in my throat when the door suddenly opens and I see Enzo walk into the conference hall. He slowly makes his way to the podium, much to my amazement. How dare he come in front of me? Is he tired of living? Looking at him, I feel so upset that I want to slam him against the wall and take his life from him. Without saying anything to me, he turns to the sea of eyes before him before he starts talking. Since we are washing our dirty linens in public, I guess we should do this here, Mr. Woodsborne. He turns to me for a brief second. Isn't that right? How dare you come here? I grit in anger. You know I can get very petty when it comes to my wife Nicholas, he tells me. I actually wanted to do this in secret, but watching this lousy press conference of yours, I decided to do something to spice it up a little. I mean that would give it the much deserved attention. Here he slams some document on the podium in front of me. First off, Avanti is suing you for a $20 billion court suit for contract breach. My forehead curls into a frown the moment his words reach my ear, and after a while, I started to laugh. Is he kidding me right now? Are you being for real right now? Of course, Mr. Woodsborne. Maria walked up to us, you breached the contract by offering us a C-lister model when we clearly asked for an A-lister model. We did our findings and it turned out that the model you gave us to work with has not been on the runway before. She was a fraud and you fell right into her trap. I clench my jaw in anger as her words flowed into my ear. How did I miss this? How did this happen? Gosh! Once again, Enzo has the upper hand and I just want to end his life. So you see, Mr. Woodsborne, yet again you are still behind me in everything. You organized this press conference to tell the world that you want to take Michelle back? Well, be my guest, but I will warn you, it won't be as easy as you think. $20 billion is not a small amount for a company whose stock has fallen like your pride and your ego now. Avanti will be waiting for your lawyers after he is done. He turns around to leave, but the questions of the reporters stop him. Is Avanti fully involved in this because of your wife, sir? One asks. Since when did you notice that the model was fake? Another asks. Isn't $20 billion too much of a money for air right now? Is it true that your wife is pregnant for her ex-husband? What do you make of the fact that Mr. Woodsborne keeps coming back to take his wife with him? These are but a few of the questions and I get more annoyed as I listen to them. Ungrateful people. Avanti will be releasing an official statement about the lawsuit soon. This is the only thing he says before disappearing out of the door, leaving me fuming in anger and loath. Enzo's POV. A snare leaves my mouth as I shift back to my human form, my eyes drinking in the sight of the bodies on the ground. This is 2 days after slamming Nicholas with the lawsuit, but he had the audacity and the nerve to attack my pack house and injure a lot of people. I was about to go in for a surgery when Izzy called me and I had to ditch everything to rush back to the pack house. Luckily for me, Michelle was not around. She and her aunt had to go to their ancestral home to pay her dead parents a visit and I was supposed to go with her, but I couldn't because of the surgery. Who would have known that Nicholas would attack me like a stupid rouge like that? Groaning softly, I turn to look at the battered body beside me and my lips curl into a smirk. He is a pretty strong contender but too weak. I can't help but wonder how he became the alpha of his pack when he is this weak, and not only that, most of his pack members are also lying unconscious on the ground. It was a bit difficult at first because I still have the injury from the witch ad line, but that didn't stop me from taking my pound of flesh from this stupid alpha whom I didn't kill yet. It would be a waste to just end his life in such a way. Pulling my body from the ground, I clench my jaw together as anger and relief wash through my body. Enzo. Izzy rushes towards me and before I can say anything, she throws herself into my embrace, not minding the fact that I am not dressed, and I totally understand why. She is practically the only person I wolf out in front of and she has seen me a few times. Perks of being a sister. Enzo, are you okay? Her voice is full of fear and anger. Her eyes travel over my body as tears well up in them. Please tell me you are fine. I am fine, Izzy. I force the words out of my mouth. Nicholas also dealt a blow to me. I couldn't lie, but that was not enough to keep me at bay. I should be fine after a few days, but I am not sure when he will ever open his eyes again. The wolf's bane and silver in his bloodstream is enough to keep him at bay for the time being until I come up with a permanent solution for him. Luckily I always have those on my person since I do not trust any wolf that is not from my pack. I can't kill him yet, not without my wife's permission. He is the father of her babies anyways, so she has to give me that right to take his life and take over his pack. I warned him not to mess with me because I am not the typical alpha male that he might have ever encountered. I am something more than he could ever imagine, and he is lying half dead in the courtyard of my pack house at my mercy. Here Izzy draps a cloak over my body, you need to wash up and... She is still talking when I pull her into my embrace and I can feel her body shaking in my arms. I can totally understand her. You really scared me out there, Enzo, she cries out in my embrace. I was. Shhh, I shush her as I pat her hair lightly. It's enough now. Actually, when I got to the pack house, the first image I saw was Nicholas's hand snaked around my sister's neck and he was suffocating her. That was what made me lose all of my senses, and I lunged at him in anger, beating and clawing when I should. How dare he come to attack my pack without proper preparation? Looking back at his body on the ground, I let out another sigh. Izzy Xavier also runs towards us. His whole body is covered with blood and he looks a bit tired. He really is a good fighter, but right now he doesn't look like a fighter but one who is concerned about his mate, and I can see the love pouring out of her eyes for him. She pulls away from my embrace and pounces into his arms and he holds onto her tightly. He looks very scared. I am sorry, Xavier mouths. Sorry I didn't come sooner. Take care of her, Xavier, I tell him. I won't spare you if she gets hurt ever again. I am sorry, master, he answers with a bow. Immediately I see Mustafa and the rest running towards us and everyone looks battered and tired, all because of Nicholas. How I hate him the most. Is everyone okay? I ask Mustafa. 2 of our men have been sent to the pack healers, Hakim responds, but everyone else is fine. Good. Now take Nicholas and put him in the dungeon filled with moonstones. There is a key in my drawer. Inside you will find a spiked collar. I want you to fix that on his neck until I decide what to do with him. Are you going to kill him? Another asks. I cannot do that without permission. With one last look at his unconscious body, I slowly make my way to my car. As soon as I alight from my car, my eyes catch a hold of Maria standing on my porch, and the moment she sees me, a huge frown settles on her face and she rushes towards me. Boss, are you okay? Her eyes travel around me and settle on my face. Did something happen? Why? Why have you come here, Maria? I cut her off. The only thing I want to do now is just to take a hot shower and speak to my wife. Only then will I feel completely normal. You asked me to drop a few documents at the house and I have been here for a while now. None of your security guards were around and you weren't picking your calls. I wanted to leave but the documents are important for tomorrow's meeting. Go home, Maria, I tell her after a while. I am fine. I just need some rest. You don't look fine, sir, she is adamant. Do I need to call the hospital or the madam? Tell me, what can I do to help? Just go home. I am almost losing my mind again. You can bring the documents over before I go to the office tomorrow morning. She is silent for a while until her face breaks into a fake smile. You probably don't know, but I know exactly what you are, boss, and I am not scared of you. I know everything I need to know and how to help in situations like this. I know you might be wondering what I am talking about, but I have watched movies and I have read about your kind. You are in a bad state, Mo. Let me help you. We are not doing this now, Maria, I grit as I ball my hands into a fist. You shouldn't be here. You probably know how much I am in love with you, sir, she continues, and I will never be able to forgive myself if I leave you in this condition, and the lady boss will surely have my head on a platter if she finds out that I left you for dead. I promise I will not do anything just like all these years. I will only do what should be done and I will leave. I keep staring at her for a while, unable to say anything. How did I bag such a good assistant? She always does everything right and I have never had a reason to scold her, but tonight is not the night. She could get hurt. Yes, Maria, I know how crazy you are about me, I tell her. I see you always put some extra caffeine in my coffee every day and I see how you watch my every move, but tonight is not one of those days. Go home. Not waiting for her response again, I slowly make my way into the house. My wolf threatening to jump out of my body and release its tension and anger. As soon as I enter the house, I slump on the sofa as I close my eyes for a moment, trying to calm my nerves down. Finally, I have Nicholas at the tip of my fingers now, but that didn't mean everything was over. Adeline is still at bay and Nicholas is not dead yet. But one thing is certain, Michelle will have the moments of peace she deserves. As if on cue, the mobile in my hand begins to beep and as soon as I see the caller ID, my heart skips a beat. This woman is very keen, she could find out if I am okay through my voice alone. Clearing my throat sternly, I click on the receive button before pressing the phone against my ear. Hello babe, her bubbly voice filters through. Hey kitten, I force a smile on my face. Enjoying much? Not at all, you are not here so. Her voice trails off and I can feel a pout on her face. Are you done with your surgery? Yeah, I almost answer but I stop. I don't want to lie to her anymore. I didn't go in for the surgery, babe, I tell her. Why? Are you okay? Her voice is already quivering a little and I close my eyes. Right now I miss her so much. I just want to hug her to sleep and I know I will feel better after that. My whole body is still shaking after all the fight and the anger still brewing inside of me, and I know she is the only person who can calm me down. Nicholas attacked the pack house, I tell her after a while, and a gasp leaves her mouth. I am coming to you now, Enzo, she says from the other end. I am totally fine, I will only believe it when I see you with my eyes, she blurts, and I massage the space between my brows before looking at the clock on the wall. It is already a few minutes past 10 p.m. You don't need to go through that stress, baby, I tell her. You are already in your second trimester and I don't want to traveling around. I will come to you instead. Come soon, I hear her say, her voice quivering like she's about to cry. I end the call and a little groan leaves my mouth again. The wound from Adeline kind of hurts. I will call the pilot to get the jet ready. I hear a voice near the door and I don't bother to answer. I knew that Maria did not leave. Michelle's POV. I keep pacing around the room after I drop the call. Just a few hours after I left, Nicholas dared to attack my husband. I am going to hold him by the hair and make sure to sniff the life out of him. How can he do such a cowardly thing? Was he that afraid of the lawsuits that he had to attack Enzo like that? Thinking about it, I get more worried. I just want to see him and that's the only way I can feel better. Keep him safe for me, Moon Goddess, I mutter under my breath as I continue pacing around the room. You know this won't help you, right? Aunt's voice filters into my ear and I stop to look at her. You are pregnant, Michelle. 3 babies inside of you. You shouldn't be walking around like that. I am just worried, Aunt, I tell her as I swallow hard. He sounded so weak on the phone and I won't be able to rest if I don't see my husband tonight. It will take about an hour to get here. Are you going to keep pacing until he comes? I don't think you understand the gravity of this situation, and I rake my fingers through my hair. Enzo getting hurt is the same as me getting hurt and I won't take any rest until he gets here. I don't think you understand how much I love that man and I rather get hurt than see him hurt for a moment. and continues to look at me, and I can see a small smile tugging at the edge of her lips, which makes the frown on my face intensify. Why was she smiling when I was about to lose my mind? You really love him, don't you? With everything I have in me? And I tell her, I love him so much and I can't imagine my life without him, and I just... My voice trails off. I wish he can just walk through that door right now. Don't worry, my dear, he will be here soon, and tells me again, and I let out another heavy sigh. I don't need any words of affirmation right now, I just want to see my husband. I don't know for how long I have been pacing around the room until I heard the sound of a plane on the roof, and I know for a fact that that is Enzo. Grabbing my robe, I fling it over my body before rushing out of the room despite the warnings of my aunt. As soon as the elevator door opens, I rush towards the roof, and this is when I see Enzo taking slow steps towards me, and my eyes immediately tear up as soon as I set my eyes on him. Enzo! I call out his name and I start to run towards him. Don't run, I hear his voice in my head, but I completely ignore his warning and continue to run to him. Just as he takes another step towards me too, I see him collapse on the ground in front of me, and my whole world comes to a standstill as I see the man I love fall to the ground unconscious. We appreciate your loyalty. This is when I also see Maria behind me, but I don't linger much on it as I hasten my run to him. Enzo. I tap on his cheek lightly, but he is unresponsive and I can feel my heart pounding fast against my rib cage. What happened to him, Maria? I can't help but ask her, why has he gone unconscious? I think we should call a doctor, ma'am. No, it will be too late, I immediately refute. Tell the pilot to come help us take him back to the plane. I will take him to the hospital myself. He must have been badly injured by Nicholas, and I can't help but feel guilty about it. It is all my fault. I shouldn't have brought Nicholas into his life. This is the man that has never shown me his weakness before, and now he is lying unconscious in my arms. I genuinely do not know what to do. Make haste, Maria, I half yell as tears well up in my eyes. Ma'am, someone calls out to me, and I raise my head to meet Maria, and she has a cup of coffee in hand. You have been up and about for a while now. You should take some coffee to help calm your nerve. I am not in the mood for coffee, Maria, I tell her as a slight yawn leaves my mouth. Enzo has been in the examination room for close to an hour now, and I am getting really worried about him. You should at least take some rest, ma. You look so tired, she tells me again, and I nod in the negative. I want to see my husband when he comes out of the examination room, I tell her, and she nods. What happened though? Why were you with him? My eyes are searching her face for an answer. I had gone to the house to drop off a document that he asked for, and that's when he came home looking very tired and weak. He told me to leave, but I couldn't. Not when you were not around, and none of the guards could be seen anywhere, so I decided to stay despite the boss telling me to leave. I decided to come with him on the plane since I didn't want him to be alone. I continue to stare at her for a while. Thank you so much, Maria, I finally tell her. I really do appreciate your help. You are welcome, ma'am, she responds. I was only doing my job, of course. I flash her a smile before she leaves, but my gaze continues to linger on her. After what seems like ages, the door opens and the doctor comes out. Ms. Phillips, please come with me. I enter the examination room with him, and my heart breaks when I see Enzo. I hate seeing him like this. How is he, doctor? I ask him. Is he going to be fine soon? Actually, ma'am, he starts to talk. We couldn't find anything that led to his fainting, so we rounded it up to stress, but that aside, we found a rupture in the vein near his heart. It seems to have been like that for a while now, but seeing how swollen it is now, I think something must have triggered it. I swallow hard at his words. That must be Adeline's injury. What do you think we should do, doctor? I ask him, is there a way to combat it? Usually I would have suggested surgery, but it is in a tricky area, so a few more tests need to be done. Mind you, this is the very first case I have come across and I am not sure how it would turn out. I let out another sigh again. The hospital wouldn't be able to help him treat his injury anyways. Will he wake up soon? I question him again. Yes, he should be up soon, thank you, doctor. Please have him moved to a private room. I will make arrangements for that. As soon as he walks out, I perch on the space beside him and gently grab a hold of his hand. You must be suffering a lot, babe, I say in a whisper. I am sorry for the pain I have caused you. Please get well soon for me. I press a kiss on his lips gently before pulling away from him. Now I see why Enzo never showed me his weakness, because he knows I will not be able to handle it. I am already on the verge of insanity seeing him on a hospital bed for the first time since I met him. After a while, the man on the bed slowly opens his eyes and a tear trickles down my eye. Gosh, I am so scared. Hey! Enzo's weak voice reaches my ear and I gulp. How do you feel now? I ask him. You shouldn't have brought me to the hospital, babe. He forced the words out of his mouth. I would have been okay if I just slept at home. You fell unconscious, babe, I tell him, and that was the only thing I could do at the moment. I was really scared. A small smile appears on his lips. Come here. Enzo slowly pulls me to himself and envelops me in a hug. I would have been okay if you had given me a hug, kitten, I scoff. Despite the pain I am feeling, even in pain this man still knows how to make a joke. Stop joking around, I scold him gently. You are sick. I am not sick, babe. He buries his head in the crook of my neck. I was just missing you and that's all. Then get well soon. I hate seeing you like this. I will if you give me a kiss. I smack him and he lets out a playful groan. I am sick and you can't be nice to me. Just keep shut and get well soon, hubby. Please. I will. We both lay in that position for a while. His steady breathing reaches my ears and I finally let out a sigh of relief. Thanks to the moon goddess that he is fine. Why aren't you asking me anything though? Enzo asks me after a while as he pulls closer to me. Nothing is as important as you, babe, I tell him. We can talk about what happened if you get better. Are you comfortable with the fact that my assistant is in love with me? He asks me again and I gulp. This question, do I even know the answer? Enzo's POV. The lady in my arms stiffened the moment my question reached her ear. I have known for the longest time that Maria was in love with me. I didn't bother to act on it because I didn't feel that way towards her, and she was certainly not my type. And let's not forget the life of a wolf. The moon goddess always chose for us and she didn't make me and Maria mates. The other reason why I didn't act on it was because Maria didn't act on it too, and that's one reason I respect her till date. She knew how to keep her distance and I hope it remains so. You knew from the beginning that she loved you? Michelle asks me after a while as I bury my face in the crook of her neck and I sniff in her scent, making me groan lightly. My whole body feels weak, but being next to this woman makes me feel so much better. I nod. I knew from the onset, so why didn't you do anything about it? Is this lady being serious right now? Why would I? I don't love her, I love only you. Michelle goes silent again, but I know exactly what is going on in her mind. I can read all her thoughts and I can understand them. But one thing this lady in my arms needs to know is that she is the only one for me and I will rather die than be with someone else. I kept Nicholas in the dungeon filled with moonstones. He won't be able to do anything to you now, babe. She nods but doesn't say anything again. We both stay in that position until a gentle knock resonates on the door and it slowly pushes open and Maria saunters into the office. You haven't left yet? Michelle asks as she pulls her body to a sitting position. Not yet. I wanted to make sure everything was fine before I left. Everything is fine. You should go now. I hope you feel better, sir. I nod without saying anything. It's not like I had something to say. Very well then, I will take my leave now. As she makes to leave, Michelle stops her and I knew she was going to do that. A small smirk appears on my lips. Maria, yes, ma'am, I am going to ask you a very simple question and I want you to give me a befitting answer. Michelle's gaze is settled on her and I can't help but be proud of my woman. She can intimidate anyone no matter who it is. A small frown appears on Maria's forehead. What do you mean? You love my husband, don't you? Michelle goes straight to the point and I see Maria gulp. She actually didn't expect Michelle to ask her such a question. Ma'am, you. She is still talking when Michelle cuts her off. Just a simple answer. Tell me, do you love my husband or not? I do, she replies, but that's not something you should be worried about, ma'am. I did for years, but you were the one he fell in love with and I have made peace with that. It really makes me uncomfortable that my husband's assistant is in love with him, but what is more unsettling is the fact that you have made peace with it, so you don't feel like kissing him when you see him. Maria swallows hard. Michelle is really making her uncomfortable, but I have nothing to do with that. Whatever my wife wants, she gets. Like I said, ma'am, whatever relationship I share with Mr. Enzo is strictly business and I will never give you a reason to suspect foul play. I am sorry if I have put you in that kind of a situation. I hope so, Maria. I like you too much to hate you, Michelle retorts. You can leave now. The driver will take you to a hotel and you can spend the night there. Thank you, ma'am. As soon as the door closes behind her, Michelle turns to me and I can't help but wink at her. Satisfied now? You are also at fault for keeping her near you when you know how she feels about you. What she feels about me does not matter, Mish, I blurt out, and I am being serious about it. She can love me for all she cares. You are the only person I care about. Maybe I should buy a gun and shoot everyone. First it was Diego's sister who is still in captivity, and then Adeline the witch, and now your assistant. Where does it end? It's not my fault that I am the ladies' man, my darling. I pull her to myself again before snaking my hand around her neck. Now will I get the kiss now? What kiss? She rolls her eyes at me. You are sick. You need to get some rest, babe. I said I am fine. Kitten. I pull her closer and she straddles me, making me groan softly. This lady will surely make me turn this hospital bed into a mess. But you fainted, Enzo. A pout appears on her lips. I was very scared and it felt like I was going to lose my own life. I have never seen you in such a position before and it made it difficult for me to come up with what to do next time. Just let me be. I will be fine on my own, I tell her while caressing her lips gently. I have a very long lifeline. I won't die yet. She smacks me gently on the chest and a painful gasp leaves my mouth, making the frown on her face widen. Don't you dare speak about that to me, Michelle retorts before rolling her eyes and pulling her body from mine, but I grab onto her neck and pull her in again. Can you just stop talking and kiss me already? Watching the woman in front of me sleep peacefully, I can't help but be fulfilled and surprised at the same time. I am the sick man whom she brought to the hospital, but now she has taken over my bed, but I can totally understand and I don't care what she does as long as it makes her happy. I know I fainted because I was weak and because of the wound on my chest. Fighting Nicholas drained a lot of my powers and I ended up collapsing in front of my pregnant wife who was very scared. I actually need to do better so she won't have to get worried about me anymore. It wasn't ideal for a pregnant woman. My deep musing is interrupted when the door opens and her aunt saunters into the private room. I press my finger against my lips and she immediately understands the assignment. She was pacing around the room since she received your call, her aunt tells me in hushed tone. I guess the tiredness took its toll on her. Can you watch over for me? I ask her. I will be back soon. Sure. Tucking a few strands of her hair to the back of her ear, I press a kiss on her forehead before standing up from the bed. I will come soon. With that, I turn on my heel and walk out of the room gently. The pain around my chest region is getting extreme, but I can bear it, at least for now. As soon as I venture out of the room, the look on my face changes and I start to walk down the hallway while dialing a number on my phone. Boss Mustafa's voice filters into my ear. Has Nicholas been tied up yet? Yes, boss, he answers. Everything has been done according to how you asked. Good. That aside, I want you and Xavier to take care of the pack house in my absence. I will be unavailable for a few days, so you should handle everything on your own. Do not call me if it's not important, okay boss? And one more thing, let Aida go, boss? I can already imagine the look on confusion on his face. You. I am suddenly feeling generous. Let her go. And Mustafa, I call out to him and go silent for a while. I am sure you will be a great alpha one day after I am done. I end my call and close my eyes for a moment. I think it's time for me to fully focus on my family now. Michelle is already in her second trimester and she needs all the love and support she can get, and I am going to give her that and more. And for releasing Aida, it was just a kind gesture from my end and I hope she won't bother me again. When I saw the amount of blood that was spilled back at the pack house, I realized that I didn't want me and Michelle's babies to be born in such a hostile environment, and I am going to make sure of that. I will make sure to welcome them into the most healthy environment possible. I hear some footsteps behind me and I don't bother to turn. I know exactly who that person is. I am glad you are fine, boss. Her voice filters through. I only waited around so I would make sure you feel better. I turn to her and flash her a smile. Prepare all the documents for the next 2 weeks and I will look at them tomorrow. I have a honeymoon to start and I don't want to get distracted with work then. Of course, Sir. Maria answers. I will get right onto it and make sure to go home. RIA, I tell her again. After I am done, I try to leave but she stops me again. It's not my fault that I am obsessed with you, boss, but I hope you will look past my excesses and let me keep working for you. That depends on my wife, and like I said, keep a reasonable distance, not bothering to wait for her response. I turn back and make my way into the private room again. Now I just want to be with my wife and nothing more. After walking past her, I halt and turn to her again. I will take that as a moment of weakness. Maria, my gaze darkens. That thing which you did on the plane, I was just... She tries to explain but I cut her off. Like I said, I will take it as a moment of weakness, and I start to walk towards my room again without sparing her another glance. Nicholas's POV. My eyes slightly open as a groan escapes my mouth, but the scene in front of me is different from the torture jail Enzo has put me in. This time around, I am in the middle of a big forest and the lady in front of me is one that I have never seen before. She probably is the most beautiful woman I have ever set my eyes on. Her white hair is cascading down her back like a long cloak, and the orange-yellow robe on her body gives me the irk of something dangerous yet attractive. I have heard tales of the moon goddess, but I have not been blessed to see her yet, but this woman in front of me eludes all appearance of the goddess. I continue staring back at her while she continues to tend to the rose flower in her hand. Goddess Selene. I finally find my voice and she abruptly halts what she is doing and turns her gaze on me. Immediately I feel a chill down my spine. How dare you call me that? She growls in anger and starts to take slow steps towards me. How dare you call me that name? Who are you? I ask again, and why have you brought me here? You are quite handsome. She runs her finger through my face, but not as him. I see her face crease into a frown again. You had all the chance to take her back, why did you fail? A small scowl appears on my face because I genuinely do not know what she is talking about. What do you mean? Do not question me, young alpha, she hisses in anger. I will ask the question and you will answer. I gulp as I continue to look at her. With the way she talks and carries herself, I know for a fact that she is not someone I can contend with. She is someone much more powerful than I can imagine. I trusted Adeline to do a good job, but she flopped with that Natalia thing, and you too. I thought you loved your wife. If you are not the goddess, who exactly are you? She chuckles lightly and the hair at the back of my neck stand on edge. She looks and sounds menacing. What do humans call them? Yes, God and the devil. Those are the supreme beings of those measly humans, and for people like us, you have Eos and the rest of them. My breath hitches as I hear her name, the goddess Eos. For generations far gone, it was believed that the moon goddess had a sister, but no one knew anything of her. But now, she has come to me? But why? As I continue to stare at her, I can't help but wonder what a goddess wants with a measly wolf like me. You made a bad decision when you decided to divorce your wife in the first place, young wolf. Her hand cups my neck. I was on the verge of getting him after such a long time, but the people I put out to do my work decided to go against me. Her eyes begins to darken. For years, I made myself human so I can be by his side and finally have him, but you had to be foolish enough to divorce your Luna at that particular time? And what more? Her grip on my neck tightens and I am unable to do anything. I am still tied up and I am unable to move. Adeline is paying for trying to take him from me when the only job I gave her was make sure she removes that young Luna from the alpha's life. She lets go of my neck and I start to cough, my heart beating fast against my rib cage. Even my wolf is terrified of the lady in front of me. Unlike the moon goddess, who is kind and merciful, this woman looks dangerous and one to exact revenge against her enemies in the most brutal way possible. You were not initially in my plans because I thought Adeline would be able to pull it off, but she had to fall in love with him and also involve that measly wolf. I am not certain of what she is saying, but I know for a fact that it has something to do with Enzo. He is the center of attention here and I can feel it and hear it from her tone of voice. She walks back to the rose flower and picks us up before walking back to me again. Selene sure knows how to make me mad with her decisions. What? Silence. She half yells and the sky immediately starts to darken. Much to my amazement, Adeline and Natalia are paying for their sins now, and I will make sure you pay for all you did. Not only did you divorce your wife when you should have stayed married, you went ahead to attack him and his pack. Are you talking about Enzo? She chuckles lightly. You are a smart man, Nicholas. She pats my hair lightly. Along with the Zia clan and all of you, I will have to punish you all. Enzo found favor in my sight and I want him. The moment I realized Selene fated them to each other after making her get pregnant for you, I was so mad that I blessed her with a tumor that would take her life and that of her babies, but I must have missed the point there because that drew her closer together, and what more, he loves her like she is the only person in this world? How dare he? I will snatch her life like a piece of and make him come back to me like he should. He is the only man I want and he is the only human I will ever have, so you are responsible for everything. I can't help but ask her and she chuckles again. Did you think fate was in motion? She inquires with another laugh. It was all me, Nicholas Woodsborne. Enzo is one who has found favor in my sight and I have protected him since then. Too bad his mother had to lose her life to balance the world she inhabits, and I still feel bad till this day, and what more, I even made her parents to lose their lives saving you, so you will be indebted to her forever, so you would never think of leaving her and their fate would never come to pass, but you had to be a fool. She grabs my neck again. You had to distort everything I have worked so hard for just with a single signature. Do you know what you have cost me? Her claws begins to dig into my neck. Couldn't you have waited? You clearly said Adeline messed everything up. I am already feeling frustrated, so how am I to blame for something you knew was going to happen? I didn't know everything, she half yells. Selene would not allow me, and that Adeline fell in love with him thinking she will be able to double-cross me. Now I will give you one last chance to have your wife and your kids back, or I will kill them all, Woodsborne. I have been holding out for quite too long and my patience is wearing very thin, and now my Enzo is even in pain because of the injury that wretched witch inflicted on him. Who exactly are you? Why? Immediately darkness starts to loom over me. The words hang in my throat when I open my eyes, and now I am back in the cell full of the moonstones with the collar on my neck. Everything felt so real back then, but I am not sure if I was hallucinating or she actually came to me. What would she possibly want? I clearly didn't understand some of the things she was saying, but I know for a fact that she isn't joking about anything and she knows everything. How I wish I can leave the room now and give Michelle 1001 reason why she should leave that bastard who has the attention of all the women around him. Michelle's POV. I shoot out of bed as my eyes frantically search the room until a hand pulls me into his embrace, and that is when I let out a sigh of relief as soon as his scent filters into my nose. I must have had a very bad dream because the way my body is reacting right now isn't supposed to be so, but I really cannot fathom why my whole body is shaking in such a way. Hey, calm down. His soothing voice reaches my ears as he pats my hair lightly. You are safe, okay? Something is not right, Enzo, I tell him. I can feel it in my bones. Something is wrong somewhere, but I don't know how to place it. I slowly pull away from him as I continue to gaze into his eyes. It was only meant to be a moment with this man, but here I am married to him with our lives taking different turns each day. Now I don't even know the direction we are headed now. Everything seems so fuzzy, and with the way my body is reacting, something doesn't seem right even in the least. For the first time since my life took a turn, I can feel the fear radiating from me, and it makes me feel so useless and anxious. Did you have a bad dream? Enzo asks as he caresses my cheek lightly. Do you want to talk about it? Have you ever wondered why I am unable to do to you what I do to others? I ask him, and a look of confusion flashes through his face. What do you mean? When I had a tumor, your blood could heal me, but now that you are in pain, I am unable to do that. Did you try to heal me? Enzo asks, and I nod. But it isn't working. it's like my body has become too weak for me to do that, or you are way above my capabilities. You shouldn't worry about such trivial things, Mish, he tells me. For every action there is a reaction, do you know that? Life is a give and take, don't you know? What do you mean? Every wolf is built differently, and I guess the moon goddess has her reasons for making it impossible for you to cure your own husband. Remember, you couldn't cure yourself when you had that tumor. All this could mean something, babe. I tell him again, I don't quite understand what is going on, but I know this is just the tip of the iceberg. Meeting you, falling in love with you, Natalia, Nicholas, even Adeline, I have a feeling that all this is connected to one big thing, but I just can't fathom it. And don't try to do that, he replies. The only thing you should be worried about now is your babies. I keep postponing the ceremony I promised because a lot of things have been happening and I don't know when I will get it done now. A slight pout appears on his lips, and despite the pain lingering inside of me like something out of the ordinary is about to happen, I cannot help but smile back at him. This man always makes me forget all about my pain or sadness. Okay, fine, I finally agree. Tell me, what do you want to do? Let's go for our honeymoon, Mish, he tells me. We have delayed it for far too long and I haven't had the chance to show you off to the world yet. The pout on his gaze grows and I burst out laughing the more. This man, the world already knows me. Enzo, will you come with me or not? He raises an eyebrow at me while folding his hands across his chest. Fine. I finally nod. Let's go on our honeymoon then. Promise not to think about anything aside from us. But, babe. He cuts me off almost immediately and I heave a sigh. Fine, I promise. I will make sure to enjoy these coming days for as long as it lasts. That's my girl. He pulls me to a kiss and envelops me in his arms. I have made all the arrangements and we just have to leave from here. What? A look of surprise flashes through my face. At least we should collect your antidote before we leave. Izzy will have it sent to us when it's ready. The doctor said it's getting worse, babe. Why are you taking this so lightly? I am not. Enzo pulls me closer again, his hot breath fanning my face, and I swear for a moment I want to pull him close and claim his lips. I have missed this man so much after everything that has been happening. We haven't even had the time to have a proper meal in a while. May the moon goddess kill them all. You know you take things lightly, yet. I smack his hand gently and he burst out laughing before snaking his hand around my waist and drawing me nearer. Hope you are ready for me because I am not going to let you any moment of rest. His mobile begins to ring and he immediately answers. Boss, someone's voice filters through. Everything is ready, we will be on the rooftop soon, Enzo tells him and ends the call before turning to me. Ready? Are we leaving now? My eyes open wide for a moment. Look how I am dressed and you haven't even been discharged. I got myself discharged when you were sleeping, my love, he responds. And you don't have to care about how you are dressed. It's our private jet anyways. It's not like I can win an argument against this man anyways. He always has a way of making me agree with him no matter what it is. One last question though. What more questions do you have, wife? The smile on his face continues to linger. Tell me, I will answer all of your questions. So where are we going? That's a secret, Enzo refutes. I cannot tell you, but... My voice trails off when a knock on the door makes the two of us turn and Aunt saunters into the room with a bag in hand. Aunt. A confused look appears on my face. What's the bag? I packed a few snacks that are good for your pregnancy, my dear, she says. And not to worry, I asked your dietitian and she agreed to all of them. Did you know we were leaving? Enzo told me once again, this man has wowed me beyond my expectations. You had everything planned out. Don't ask too many questions to a man who is ready to give you the world and cuts me off, and Enzo nods in acceptance. Thank you, Aunt Louisa, at least you understand. Oh please, I roll my eyes. I was just curious, that's all. You should get moving now, Aunt tells us again. Of course, before I can say anything, he gathers me up in his arms, much to my amazement. You aren't feeling shhh, he cuts me off. Just enjoy being my queen. A hand gently tapping on my shoulder makes me open my eyes and I yawn lightly. Enzo's face comes into view and I let out a gentle smile. We have arrived, babe, he says gently as he smiles back at me. Sorry, I was a bit tired so I fell asleep, I tell him with a pout, and he laughs softly, revealing his cute set of dentitions and his beautiful looking dimples. We appreciate your loyalty. Be it day or night, this man's handsomeness is out of this world. It's okay, babe, Enzo responds. Welcome to the city of Athens, sweetheart. As he mentions the city of Athens, my eyes open wide and I immediately jump out of my chair before rushing towards the door. Coming to Athens has always been my age dream, and here I am, standing on its soil. I can't even believe my eyes right now. How did this man know I wanted to come to Athens so badly? I am your husband. His voice filters into my ear as he snakes his both hands around my waist and pulls me in. I know you wanted to come to Athens so badly, and that's why I made preparations for that and almost brought you here without your permission. Oh, Enzo, I tear up a little as tears well up in my eyes. Despite everything that's happening, this man always makes my issues his number one priority, so how can I not fall in love over and over again? How do you do it, babe? I ask in his embrace and I hear him chuckle lightly. I just love you, my wife, he whispers over my hair. Everything else comes naturally. Thank you so much, hubby, I tell him again as I sniff back a tear. He has done so much for me and his only payback is that I be happy. No matter what is going on or what would happen, I swear to the moon goddess that I am going to enjoy this honeymoon to the best of my abilities. You like your first honeymoon gift? At this rate you will give me the world, babe. I pull away from him but my hands are still encircling my neck. What exactly did I do in my past life to deserve this kind of love and treatment from you? Enzo, I pray to the moon goddess that I keep meeting you in all my subsequent lives, baby. He press a gentle kiss on my hand. Now let me take you home. We can tour the city tomorrow. We aren't staying in a hotel. Of course not, princess. He raises an eyebrow. A queen deserves her palace and I have done just that. I don't even say anything again and just allow this man to dazzle me. I want it all. Enzo's POV. The moment the car comes to a halt in front of the house, I see how Michelle's face lights up the minute she sees the house in front of her. This is a house I purchased a few days ago and I am not sure if she would like it as much as I have anticipated. Oh my gosh, babe! Her voice jolts me out of my train of thoughts. When did you buy this? I open the car door for her and she hastens down before briskly walking through the house, the smile on her face widening with each step. Do you like it? I ask her and she turns to me with an eye roll. Like? Babe, I love it. This is so beautiful, babe. I mean, look how classy and demure it looks. How much did you purchase this, Enzo? She turns to me with a raised brow again. Clearly this is top-notch and no one will sell this for less. You don't have to worry about the price, kitten, I tell her as I drape my hand over her shoulder. just enjoy it. I immediately gather her into my arms and start to walk towards the door where the chief butler is waiting for us, and he bows as soon as he sees us. "Welcome sir," he says with a smile on his face. "Welcome ma'am." "Put me down," Enzo Michelle whispers into my ears, but I completely ignore her and return my focus to the butler. "I hope you did everything as I have asked." "Yes sir," he answered. "Everything has been done as per your instructions." "Good, I will lead you to your room now and tell the maids to start on making a late-night dinner for you." A smirk appears on my lips as I glance at my wife for a moment. "I think I will be having another dinner tonight. Do not bother." I immediately see the color rush on her face and I chuckle lightly. My wife is such a cutie. "I told them to prepare our room downstairs since you are pregnant. I don't want you going up and down the stairs every day or even use the elevator." "How thoughtful of you," Michelle says as she snakes her hand around my neck and gives me a peck. "Thank you so much baby. I don't think your thank you will suffice now babe." I whisper into her ear. I have a whole different agenda in mind. After walking down the hallway, I push open a door and walk in. This is when I gently drop her and her face creases into a huge grin. "You sure paid a lot of attention to details babe," Michelle says as her eyes travel around the room and settles on me. "This is really beautiful and Enzo-like. I am glad you like everything about the house babe." I pull her into my embrace. "I made sure to reorganize everything to your liking." "Why are you so good to me hubby?" Michelle encircles my torso. "First you brought me to the place I have always dreamed of coming, and you brought me to this amazing house. What would I have done without you babe?" She press a kiss on my lips again. "You make me really wonder what good I have done in my past life babe." "I am glad you love it, sweetheart." I kiss the tip of her nose. "Tomorrow I have a list of adventures I am sure you will love kitten. You just have to anticipate it and I most definitely cannot wait." I continue to stare at her without saying anything again. I don't know if it's the pregnancy hormones, but the woman in my arms looks so beautiful and kaviya than the last time I actually noticed it. We have been so preoccupied that I didn't notice how amazing my wife looks now. "When did you get so beautiful, wifey?" "I have always been pretty," she responds with an eye roll. "I know babe." I pull her in again. Our faces only an inch apart, and how I want to claim these rosy lips of her and make her mine again. "You just look so beautiful tonight that I am unable to take my eyes off of you, princess." I can feel my insides throb at the sight of her and a slight groan leaves my mouth. I just realize how much I have missed this woman, how much I have missed being inside her and one with her. How I want to claim her and make her scream my name all night long. "Babe." I caress her lips lightly as I gulp. The feeling is getting intense. "Are you tired?" "No, I am not." The moment the words leave her mouth, I pull her in and claim her lips hungrily while my hands cup her bum and caress them softly, making Michelle moan in my mouth. The moment I hear her moaning, I feel my whole body begin to heat up and my member twitching underneath my pants. I mutter under my breath as I deepen the kiss while backing her against the wall gently. I do not want to hurt the babies in any way. After kissing her for a while, I slowly pull away from her, but my hands are still snaked around her waist. I think I should stop before I finally lose my mind, I rasp out. "Make love to me, Enzo," Michelle tells me, and my forehead creases into a frown. "What?" Her hand slowly starts to caress my body while her gaze continues to linger on me. "I am being serious, babe. Make love to me. I miss you so much and my insides feel empty, but we shouldn't be. Please, Enzo," she begs. "I want you and I have been holding it in for a while now. Please don't refuse me this time please." I rake my fingers through her hair as my breath hitch. Are you sure about this, kitten? I ask her again. I don't want to hurt the babies in any way. I am serious, hubby. Her eyes twinkle lightly. Please. I want you, she further adds while biting down on her lower lip. Mish, I pull her closer. I told you not to do that, it's enough to make you go crazy, she answers cutely. I will be as gentle as possible, baby, I whisper into her ear before kissing her lips softly. I start to trail kisses down her neck in a soft manner and Michelle moans loudly, making my groan. The moment I see my mark on her neck, I place a kiss on it. You are beautiful, babe, I tell her, the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my entire life, and you, my husband, is the most handsome man I have ever seen, Michelle says while cupping my growing bulge. The moment her hand comes in contact with it, my whole body reverberates and I just want to take her and make her mine for all of eternity. I move away from her and start to undress her slowly, even if I want to take her so bad. My wife has asked me to make love to her and I am going to make love to her in a way that she will never be able to forget. The moment her gown falls off her body, I gulp as my eyes drink in her sight. My wife is so beautiful, and with that mark of motherhood running from her upper stomach towards her femininity, I can't help but admire her the more. You are a goddess, baby, I rasp out as I run my finger through the mark. You are just out of this world, so perfect. I continue to trail kisses on her bare body, and the moment her peaks come into view, I can't help but gulp. Michelle arches her back, giving me a full view of her body, and I groan, wanting her with each passing moment. I love you, Enzo, she rasps out and a moan follows. Slowly I trail down her body. The moment I slide my finger over her panties, Michelle cries out in pleasure. So wet. I want you, babe, Michelle begs. Please don't make me beg for it. I clamp her mouth shut with my lips before my fingers find the folds of her core, and the woman in my arms shivers lightly, moaning and groaning in my mouth while her whole body begins to shake. Please, Enzo, Michelle begs again. I am losing my mind. Michelle's POV. As soon as Enzo's mouth comes in contact with me, my whole body shakes in his embrace and I just want him. I want him in a way that I have never wanted him before. This is the man I love and I want to be one with for all eternity. My back arches as Enzo's hand slowly glides down my body, and the moment he touches my folds, my heart skips a beat. So wet. His deep husky voice penetrates my ear and my whole body shakes. Please, Enzo, don't make me beg, I whisper into his mouth and make to touch him, but he grabs a hold of my two hands over my head. I want to touch you, Enzo, shhhh. He shushes me while staring deep into my eyes, his finger gently stroking my folds, and I find my legs shaking because of what he is doing to me. Ugh, lol, Enzo groans softly. You are so wet, kitten, he whispers into my ear again. I bet I will be able to thrust into you faster and deeper with the way your juice is pouring down my finger, please. Shhh. He shuts me up with a kiss before pulling away from me. Let me make love to you, kitten. His raspy voice filters into my ears again. Take you to the seventh heaven and back. Make you scream my name all night long. You like that? Yeah. I moan out loud when he thrust his finger deep into me and I lean back against the wall. You like it? Hey. I love it. I can already feel the beads of sweat forming on my face while Enzo continues to torture me with his hands sliding in and out of me in a way that makes me feel so good and pleasurable. I look down and I see how huge his bulge is. I just want to grab a hold of it and massage it in between my hands, but Enzo will not allow it. He still has my hand above my head and I can see he is enjoying himself. Did you miss me, kitten? He asks me while sending his finger deep into me, making tears seep out of my eyes. I missed you so much, Enzo. I managed to force the words out of my mouth. I missed you so much that I am going to go crazy. He instantly withdraws his finger from inside of me and I immediately feel an emptiness within me. He finally lets go of my hand and pulls me closer. He gathers me up in his arms and I snake my legs around him. Enzo slams his lips on mine hungrily and prays my mouth open, sliding his tongue into my mouth. Holding onto me, he starts to walk towards the bed and he gently lays me down on it before getting on top of me. Why are you punishing me, babe? I ask while sniffing back a tear. I want you. What's the hurry, princess? He asks me before yanking his shirt off his body, making me bite down on my lips again. I have never seen this husband of mine work out, but his body is the best I have seen. His well body, his muscles, his tattoos. All are a huge turn on for me and I can never get enough of it no matter how many times I have seen them. You love what you see. I love everything about you, babe. I tell him and a flirty smirk appears on his lips. That's my princess. He kisses me again. Running my finger through his chest. You have toyed with me enough, husband, I tell Enzo while grabbing a handful of his hair. You love it, babe. Do we need a condom? He forces the words out of his mouth. Why would we need a condom, hubby? We are married, aren't we? Of course. My husband pulls me close and holds onto me. I will make love to you now, wife. He groans as I bite down on his shoulder lightly. Easy, babe, I am trying, Enzo mutters. I just can't get a grip on myself. Grabbing a hold on my two hands, the scent of something delicious filters into my nose and I open my eyes to see Enzo's beautiful face hovering above me and I swear, it is the most beautiful smile I have ever seen. This man always makes my heart flutter so much that I fear that I may die from a heart attack. How can he be so graceful every single time? Good morning, sleepyhead. His deep voice penetrates my ear. Good morning, baby. I return his greeting with a smile. Isn't it too early to be out of bed? It's already past 8, babe. You were sleeping peacefully. I didn't want to wake you up. A pout appears on my lips as I start to tug at his hand. You tired me out yesterday and that's why I slept in. You didn't even consider the fact that I was pregnant. I restrained myself a lot, kitten, Enzo answers while tucking a few strands of my hair to the back of my ear. Or you wouldn't have been able to say a word this morning, baby. My waist is sore, I tell him again and he scoffs. Do you want to complain all morning, my love? His hazel eyes continue to bore into me. I can listen to you whine all day and not get tired of you. You know that, don't you? A smile creeps up on my face and I turn away from him. Why am I suddenly shy? I have arranged for Lawrence to come and check on you before we can start other activities, Enzo announces after a while, and my mouth hangs open at his outburst. How can Lawrence possibly come to Athens just to check on me? We are in Athens, baby, I remind him in case he has forgotten. I know, and that's why I arranged for a private chopper for him. I want to make sure you and the babies are fine after what we did yesterday night. Color creeps up on my face. This man is just as naughty. So did you like yesterday? He cuts me off by pressing a kiss on my lips. For me, that was heaven, babe, and I would like to go into your heaven every single day. Get lost, I burst out laughing. How can you even say that? I can. Enzo too starts laughing. But I am serious though. Do you want me in your heaven now? No, I blurt immediately. I am tired, then I will spare you this time around. I will help you wash up so you can have breakfast, okay? I have a list of activities planned out for us today, I squeal excitedly as he gathers my body in his arms and makes his way towards the bathroom. I am more than excited to tour this city with my husband after all. Join our Facebook and WhatsApp group for more updates, link is given in description. Rest audiobook will be continued in next episode.